like it.
Just whenever y'all get ready, let me know.
Dude, we got.
Everyone's ready except you.
I'm just watching you break dance on it because.
Oh, that'd be bad to have on camera. Something besides us just staring at each other.
I like us staring at each other. Welcome to the Simply Incredible Podcast. I am Daryl, a.k.a. The D. And here is... who's here?
What? My friend Christian Booth is in the house
Christian
tonight.
is here.
For tonight.
One night only? Guest appearance?
Maybe.
He's helping us out tonight with our UFC Special Edition podcast. Thank you for being here, Christian.
It's always a pleasure. It's always a
Christian
pleasure.
in the house. For those who don't know, this is his second appearance.
Second appearance.
First
Second appearance.
live. And we hope it maintains its liveness because this technical issues is not fun. And we got this other guy over here. We forget his name.
1738.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
JPZ in the house.
Peasy Inc.
All the way from the Noke.
Rowan, okay.
Which I was
Roanoke,
just
eh?
in. I was just in the Noke.
Were you?
Yeah.
Comic book convention.
Yes.
No.
Did you go to Sam's?
Yes.
Everything?
Everything's gone.
Really?
Yeah, everything any good is gone.
Ah.
Yeah.
Where are you at in the Noke?
I've mentioned this before. In Roanoke, we have my friend Tim. He owns a comic shop.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's closing up. And he
everything
had,
good's gone?
He had a deal on it today. Start from today.
Heartbreaking deal.
Today, yes. Today through Saturday. Saturday's his last day. Every comic in the place, $1 each.
No matter what.
No matter what he
had.
had.
A wall of back issues that I would have loved to get
Yeah.
my hands on.
I feel very confident that wall went as soon as the deal was going.
Well, you know what? The Basement made a post like, we got all these brand new back issues in, so
Would you like to speak into that?
I wonder if they just went up the road and
Why
bought them
wouldn't
out.
they? I would.
Sell them for.
Because
double
my
the price like
first
they
thought
do.
is, where can I go to buy them now? Because I know someone in there bought them.
Mhm.
Either him or the other shop in town, B&D.
Yeah, B&D.
Maybe B&D got them.
Possibly.
You know, that's a neat thing. Have you guys ever had like this surprise windfall of just incredible, like a collection fell into your lap or something?
No, but I wish.
I know, it's always
I
like the worst
dream.
time when we can't go get it.
Yeah.
The best thing I've ever had, my grandma went to a flea market up in Vermont, and she took and bought me all of the original Gold Key Star Trek comic books, 1 through like 20 in mint condition, and she bought them for like $0.10 each.
Oh, there you go.
So for Christmas, she had them all boxed up for me, and I was like, "What?" I mean, they were mint.
That's
Nice.
I was like,
I got
Where'd
this
you get these
story
from?
that Daryl hates me for. I was digging through my old comics just to see what I had like 20 years later, and I found the first
and I
Queens
still
of
want to
Harley
kick you in
Quinn.
the, well, in the head.
Oh, this looks kind of familiar. What is this book? Oh, yeah. $600 comic book.
My wife.
Harley first appearance. That's my baby girl, and he wouldn't even sell it to me. I was gonna give him $300 cash money. Like, I'd rather sell it to some moron that won't appreciate it like you will for $600. Exactly.
Well, that's
right?
just me.
I know,
That's just
right?
me.
I am a material girl, and it's a material world.
What is this from?
Wrestling. It's a wrestling.
It's a wrestling. Okay.
Wrestling. Yeah,
Okay.
wrestling.
All right.
My hope is that one of the comic books I have now that's only worth about $1, I'm going to hold on to
One
it for
day.
about 50 years and then be like, hey, this comic book, mint condition, 50 years old.
We all have that exact same desire.
It's the only reason we buy them.
Yeah, I've got a nice stash of comic books that I'm hoping for that exact reason.
We're playing the odds. One of them out of the collection.
Something has to matter.
There will be one first appearance in there that someone's going to care about. Now, y'all got to share. Don't be way over there.
We're trying.
We do what we do.
And
We
you
can
do
do
it
it.
better than me.
Yeah.
And that's the fact, Jack.
Do you have any comics that you did on New Comic Book Day today?
I have not done it yet because I've been all over the place.
All right.
I went down to the trail, did my 2.5 miles.
Yay!
And it was nice out. It was just like a little
It was
mist
not
out.
nice
Oh,
out.
dude, it was. It was just a little mist out. It was great.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it was great. Now, when I was down in Roanoke, it was like a typhoon down there. I was like, holy cow. Now, on the way down there, there's a line of traffic like 5 miles long. Did you hear what happened?
I saw like a truck was turned over.
A truck was turned over down
Yeah.
there in Montvale.
Yeah.
Montvale's a Manita. I always forget those.
Montvale.
Montvale. Down there where the tanks are.
Yep.
Is that on 460 West?
Which side was it on? East or west?
It's
going,
west.
going
It's
toward,
west.
Yeah.
going toward Roanoke,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, yeah. When I got off work today, a sign literally, and this is all the way by Campbell Avenue.
Yeah.
Sign popped up saying, hey, if you're going to Bedford, expect this long traffic delay.
Mhm.
So, I don't know how bad. So, you're saying the whole truck was flipping on its side?
Well, I didn't get to
Yeah,
see
it
it
was.
because
Yeah, it was.
after about 30 minutes, it was moving so slowly that I found a place where I could turn around and then take a back road into it.
Yeah, I passed
Oh,
right
my.
by it. It was completely on its right side.
I've heard of another truck flipping on that. Was this truck perchance flipped over, if you know, by the food line? That's where another truck flipped over a while ago.
Nah, it wasn't. It was right in Montvale, right by the big gas tankers.
Okay. All right.
A milk truck?
Hope everybody's okay.
Yeah.
One of the,
I hope so too.
I didn't hear,
Have to watch the
about
news
anything.
tonight.
yeah, I saw ABC out there.
Yeah. Ooh. That's your first news.
Yes.
All right, hey, so what do we have tonight? What is our discussion?
Today. We're talking UFC champions.
Of course.
We haven't talked about UFC in, like what, 2 months now?
At least.
So it's time. We'll talk about all the champions except for this one who should not still be a champion. I'm just going to throw it out there.
The only one that matters. The only one with 2 belts in 2 divisions, at least at one point, until he took one.
Yeah.
I think he knows who you're talking about, Daryl.
I think he's guessing.
I
I don't think he knows.
he's-
Everything I love, Daryl loves to hate on.
Really?
Yes.
Everything.
Everything.
Kimmy.
Marvel.
No,
We share a love for Kim.
there you go.
Kim Schmidt.
Kimmy Schmidt.
Unbreakable.
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 They're live.
Yeah, no.
Love it.
Nope.
Dude,
Dude,
it's Jim.
it is hilarious.
If you like just dumb, pain in the face, stupid, fun.
It's got that 30
Dad
Rock
joke kinda
feel
stuff,
to it.
yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm here every night. I might have my fill of that.
Let me just say this. Titus
more of that.
Andromedon.
He's the one that makes it.
He
good.
is killing me and I'm loving it. I'm up to episode 11.
Oh, you're past me.
It thinks there's only a couple left. And
Connor just started a new show called Last Man Standing with Tim Allen. And
Oh,
there
it's hilarious.
he
It
said,
is good.
oh,
That's
yeah.
a good
well,
show.
Krista is the one who found it, and she
Mhm.
goes, Troy, you got to watch this. And
Mhm.
Connor was like, man, I'm already 20 episodes in.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
committed. When he finds a show, he's like locks himself in his
he doesn't-
man cave, and
He
that's
doesn't
it.
have a job and a family. Wait till he gets to our age. You won't have that time, my friend.
Well, I told him
won't.
enjoy it because he got
Yeah.
braces the other day, him
Mhm.
and his sister, and I'm like,
Aw.
oh, dude, you can be mowing that grass this summer. Enjoy your man cave time right now, man. It's about done. All right, UFC.
So-
Let me ask you: have you guys kept up with the events like as much as you did back in the day?
Not at all.
I have not. But I'm
Define
thinking
back in the day.
I would have thought back in the day.
for us olden folk.
I would have called this is kind of to me maybe a third generation type of thing, maybe a fourth generation.
Mhm.
First one was style versus style
Yeah.
with Hoist and the single numbers to the teens,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden you got the Zuffa era. That'd be generation 2, where you've
Mm-hmm.
got Randy Couture, Tito Ortiz, and Chuck Liddell, Matt Hughes, that group,
That's
Mhm.
about when I came in.
right?
Yep.
Then you had third generation is Connor and Ronda, and now I would say you could argue this is still third generation.
Mhm.
But to me, because of the sale, it looks like it might have switched.
Yeah, a little bit.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Between
Yeah.
the Reebok
'Cause-
deal and the sale.
I came in when Brock came in. I'm one of those guys that became interested when I heard Brock Lesnar, guy who I remember as smashing wrestler.
That's
Yeah.
what got you to really focus on it?
Well, that's what got me interested when I heard he was gonna fight,
Oh, yeah.
and then I saw it, but understood nothing except for the fact that you could hit someone hard, and I'm like, that sounds fun. But
Takes a special person to say that.
Yeah, yeah.
but
Sounds
then,
fun to watch.
back when Fox Sports 1 was Fuel TV, which was also known as UFC TV, with some motocross.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
It replayed so often that I started watching it and understanding what was going
Oh,
on.
no kidding. Oh,
That's
no.
how I got super fascinated.
Were you already into martial arts at the time, like in traditional stuff, like Taekwondo and all?
I did do Taekwondo, but that was way back when I was younger. I think honestly when I started watching the UFC,
That got you into what you're into now with us?
for the most part, because I saw Anderson Silva fight. And something, it wasn't even that he like threw punches and bunches. It wasn't like he fought with his heart in his sleeve. He was just so tricky,
Oh, yeah.
so sly, but so accurate. I was like, I can do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how, I don't know when,
But I'm gonna.
I'm gonna do that.
When he was in his prime, the only word that I could use to describe him was magic. It was like he would make things happen and connect with angles on a regular basis. I was like, the accuracy, that's unreal. Unreal. And then just taunting people because he was such a different level. Well, let's look at nowadays in this generation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start. You want to start with the lightest weight, which would be the women's?
What I was going to do is I'll start with the women's and go from lightest
Yeah.
to heaviest. Lightest to more muscular.
Quick question. Before
Yeah.
you do that, do you have the 145-pound champ 2 included?
Yes, I've got
Yeah.
3 divisions.
Okay.
Do you not want to include her? Do you have an issue with her?
When we get to her,
I mean,
we get to her.
what's
When we
going
get to
on?
her, when we get to her, I'm just saying we get to her.
Foreshadowing.
When we get to her, we get to her.
But, we this side of the table, we've got shadows forming.
Dude.
Y'all got nothing. Y'all got nothing.
I know nothing, Jon Snow.
All right, y'all ready to start with
Yeah,
it?
let's go.
Absolutely.
Champion, the straw weight, Joanna.
Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Give me the weights for sure.
Go, you go, girl.
Not an easy name to
Yeah.
pronunciate.
I'm just like
Not at all.
JJ. JJ's
You
dominating.
just lay your face on the keyboard.
So, yeah. So 115.
115.
115 straw weight.
I'll tell you
I'm
what,
glad
she's
you knew the weights
dominant.
because I didn't know the weights. Now, I would say this last fight she had just, was it last Saturday?
It was a clinic.
Yeah.
I hated every minute because,
It wasn't competitive.
well, to me, it's like Jessica Andrade.
Yeah.
Is that her name, Jessica?
Jessica Andrade.
Andrade. Yeah, dude, I hate watching her fight. I cannot
Wide
stand
swinger.
watching someone just like almost tuck their head down, close their eyes, and do some of this.
Yeah.
And after the second round, all you saw was Joanna, because again, I'm sorry, Joanna, but head on, let you just go on by like the Olay technique, like the bull's going by, and then little punches, kicks, knees, whatever she felt like doing. It was a fighter versus a martial artist.
Yeah. Brawler versus boxer.
Yeah.
And that can go either way. It doesn't always go to the
Yeah.
boxer, but I mean,
it was skill martial artist versus
intensity.
Slugger.
yeah. I mean, I'm just like, come on, that and I know PZ was like, man, she was so tough. I'm like,
That's the only points I
that,
was giving her. Was she
that
hung in there
doesn't
the whole time.
that doesn't cut it for me. Someone that's tough.
It was.
It does for me a little
Doesn't
bit,
do nothing for me.
but on a championship round, I want to
Yeah.
see more than that.
Yeah.
For sure.
It was honestly like watching Lineker versus what's his name, blonde haired, not Cody Garbrandt, the one he was supposed to fight. Oh, this is
No
terrible.
love?
No, not
Or the guy he was supposed to fight instead of Cody.
yeah. Oh my gosh, his name, it's right there. He just fought Dominic Cruz.
He just won the Cody Garbrandt won the.
No, not
No,
Cody
there's another guy,
Garbrandt.
and I can't.
Oh,
I was hoping
blonde
that's why I
haired.
brought you in, Christian.
Wait,
Blonde
Dominic
haired-
fought somebody else.
No, what is he?
Yeah, he
He's
got
number one
aced.
ranked. He's
Not,
amazing.
It's not Dillashaw.
Dillashaw, yeah.
Oh, I like
Dominic
Dillashaw.
got beat
I knew.
by Cody.
So
Thank
he-
you. Thank you.
So he's lost 2 in a row now. Dominic.
No,
No,
no, no, no.
no.
Cody beat him, and then Dominic had to fall out, and then Cody went in.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah.
I thought you were saying that so Dominic did not lose his title again.
No, he did. He lost to
He
Cody
lost it.
Garbrandt fair and
Okay,
square.
'cause that's what I thought he did too.
It was
But
an impressive performance by Cody Garbrandt.
Mhm.
Credit due where credit is due.
Mhm.
He showed him up. First round, he did what a lot of people thought he was going to do, charge in. Later rounds, Cody was like, if I stop charging in and be a little bit more patient, like
Yeah.
what he does,
mm-hmm.
I can hit him.
Yeah,
And when he started hitting him, he hit him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
punches and bunches.
Punches,
Punches and bunches and
Nice.
dancing.
Taunting him, yep.
And dancing.
Now
That's one thing I don't like about Dominic is all his dancing stuff. Because
he's got an awkward style.
I've always said this
Yeah,
though, with
yeah.
his hands down so much, at some point he's going to get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't play that too long. And did the live feed just go?
Yeah, keep going.
All right. When we come back, we'll come back.
No, just
All right.
Will it take and jump right back to where we were?
It should be. No, we'll find out.
Yeah.
As I think the audio's still going, but so y'all just keep yapping.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
We got some technical difficulties. We're going to continue on with our UFC talk with the women's and talking about Joanne and her dominant performance.
Pure
Yes.
dominance.
So, it's like John Lineker versus Dillashaw. When Lineker fought Dillashaw, he tucked his shoulders up, dropped his chin,
And just started going.
and started swinging. Which, yet again, impressive because Dillashaw was hitting him, Dillashaw was moving, which you have to do. In fact, Dillashaw had to change up how he fights for someone as strong as Lineker.
Yeah,
Just like Joanna had to do for Andrade.
yeah.
As you saw, every time she struck, she was out. She
Yeah.
wasn't staying in there, clinching, throwing shots in. She hit and she was out. You have to do that with power tanks like that swing. But I agree with you, Daryl. Her first round, I will say she was the most technical.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't
Yeah.
wide swing. It was sharp jab, level change, kicks. It was everything you could think that a championship contender would do.
Right.
But when she started getting picked at, and I'm guessing her gas tank started going,
Yeah.
frustration built up.
Yeah.
You saw the technique.
Do you
Yeah,
get points?
slug foo.
Do you get points for a takedown where it's basically they take them down, the other person immediately gets up?
Nope.
I
No,
wouldn't know.
Yeah, because I mean that happened a few times.
would-
And I was like, really, all you did was wasted.
In the
15
past,
seconds.
judges would do that a lot.
Yeah.
And they would decide fights. And in fact,
Mhm.
if you look at GSP versus BJ Penn,
Mhm.
BJ beat GSP up in that first fight. His face looked like a train wreck.
Yeah.
But the takedowns gave him such a dominant, performance on the judges' card by saying, hey, I have something that I can actually mark over and over, but he wasn't keeping him down. He's letting him up, taking him down. And in wrestling, you get pointed for that. But that was one of the things that helped shift it. It's like, if you take them down and don't dominate, then they're going to take and get a counterpoint for, escaping the ground control. So they even out. In my opinion, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of evolved over time with the refs learning the game more.
That's the whole thing. They got to learn it. A lot of times they used to have boxing refs.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, boxing judges. And that's still the case a lot of times because of athletic commissions.
Absolutely.
All right, who's the next weight class up?
Bantamweight. Amanda Nunes.
Yep.
Dude,
She's tough.
she's a
fighting
beast.
in 213.
Yeah, I was going to ask you
Yeah,
because
she-
I did not get who they're fighting next. Because I knew Joanna. I know she wasn't going to be fighting for a little while. She just fought.
She just fought, right?
Yeah.
Amanda has got, what is it? I think it's some blonde Polish chick.
It's a rematch. She's fought this chick
Yeah.
before, but I can't remember who it is.
And
Shevchenko.
is it?
I think it's like
Oh,
Is she Russian?
Oh, yeah.
She's
That's right.
somewhere
Yeah,
from Europe.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Eastern Bloc.
Yeah,
Eastern
she's.
Bloc of Europe.
They were talking
she's
trash and it was embarrassing bad.
Is she like a
Because you don't
good
speak English?
striker?
Yeah.
Really good striker.
She is, and she the fight that she won that got her into the spot, she threw in an armbar, like right there on the spot.
Really?
She can strike because she struck with Holly Holm, outstruck her actually,
Yeah.
and then got the jiu-jitsu submission win. She's the real deal.
Dude, can't wait to watch that fight because I
Yeah.
love a rematch.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, you know what? You get another chance. And in life, you don't get those very often. And for these fighters to get it, Ben Henderson had one of the best lines about it. He goes, after he got the Showtime kick by Anthony Pettis,
Yep, off the
and he wanted to
cage.
rematch him, he said, you don't understand. I need this thing so bad, it's like a stain on my soul. I was like, that's harsh, man. So when you get a rematch, and I think of it in those terms, man, my heart goes out to somebody to put it back on the line to say, I'm giving it another shot.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw, that's ballsy. That's good.
Now, do you think that they automatically should get one?
No, I don't believe automatic.
I never believe in automatic. I think I've always been like this. If it's a tight fight for 3-5 rounds, something like that, 3 or 5, I think they should. But if it's one of the, and I also think this, if it's one of those knockouts,
Yeah, like Jose Aldo.
Yeah, I think
that needed a rematch.
That needed a rematch against Conor. But if it's one of those 5-round fights that, I mean, like Joanna against Jessica, no, she got dominated for 5 rounds. You don't need a rematch.
Now, what if she had just pulled a fighter's chance off, landed a good one, got a knockout? Would Joanna have deserved
She
that?
would, because she was dominating the fight the whole time.
Yeah.
If you're getting beat up the whole time and then you get knocked out, good luck to you.
All right.
My honest
Earn your way back up.
my honest decision making on that was the first one interesting enough where I wanted a round 6.
Mm-hmm.
If it was, if it went all the way, or if I wanted another round.
Or if it was, knocked out in 15 seconds, do you want another 15 seconds?
Well, that right there, I look at it like when they get knocked out like that, I was like, man, you know what? You got caught,
Yeah.
but I'd like to see if this thing actually had, some time to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
See.
can't wait. Amanda Nunes, how many more events before she fights? You said 213.
They just had 211, right?
Is that what I think?
So
That's
a
what it
couple more?
was.
Yeah, so yeah,
I think
two
that's what it was.
See,
It's
with
International
that,
Fight Week.
with that logic, I completely agree with you. Which is, but yet again, we're talking about the UFC.
Yeah.
We always have to keep that in mind because when Holm lost to Misha,
Yeah.
and she was dominating
Yeah.
Misha. In all honesty, if she had more confidence, she probably would have put her away.
Yeah.
And Misha got her with that last minute rear naked choke. And you saw what the UFC did automatically. They're like, nope, because I honestly personally believe that they didn't want Holly to take that title
I
back.
agree with you.
Yep. Totally agree.
Because one, Holly stays active all the time. So she would never wait for some super fight or superstar to arise.
Which, from a personal managerial position, was the dumbest thing she could have done in her life.
Mm-hmm.
It's good as a fighter, but she lost out on her potential for a $10 million payday and will never be a millionaire because of it.
Yeah.
She should have waited.
Mm-hmm.
She should have. Well, in terms of money.
If I was her coach, I would have pulled the reins. I was like, look, no, hold off.
Hold on. Because you could have taken it to Ronda again.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw, that would have been a $10 million payday. Maybe more.
Yeah. Yet again, looking at all that, UFC, in all honesty, should have given her the rematch.
Should have.
Yep.
Didn't.
A lot of politics involved, especially in the UFC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
And I think a lot of it with her is she's not vocal.
Well, yeah, she lets her her agents and her
Yeah.
team, which is what it should be.
Yeah.
But you still need to be that mouthpiece. I
Yeah.
hate to say it.
Yeah.
We'll get to him in a second, but there's a reason Conor McGregor gets what he wants. Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
That's true.
If you're quiet and you'll let him get away with it, they'll be like, ha, ha, it's done. We got
Yeah.
away. Can't let him do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
So, okay, hey, who's the next? 145?
Okay, featherweight 145, right?
145.
Yeah. That is Jermaine D. Randami.
Duran Durandamy. Something like that.
Yeah.
Jermaine
Durandamy.
Durandamy. Something like that.
And
I'm going to tell you honest.
She beat
Asterisk.
Holly.
I put an asterisk next to it because one, that fight should have had a replay off the bat.
Yep.
First
Mhm.
off, even if you did not give her the foul points, and for everyone who did not see this fight or
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
not,
Give us a quick breakdown of
Yeah.
it.
fight was close.
I was mad at
You
this
had
fight, too.
you had
I
two
remember you telling
strikers. You had two strikers going at it. Holly put a little bit of wrestling into it, but not much. You had two guys going at it, well, two females, dominant. However, two times when the bell rang, Jermaine got shots in on Holly. One shot, like it clearly hit after the bell.
Yeah.
Now the ref says, "All right, I was late to that one," and Holly's like, "All right, I shook that one off." The second time though it happened, this is in a different round too.
Yeah.
The second time it happened, it clearly had an effect on Holly.
Yeah.
No extra time, not much extra time given to Holly to recover.
Not enough time.
Not enough time. It was blatant. Like
Yeah.
even if Jermaine
Yeah.
says like, "Oh well, I didn't realize it. The ref didn't step in." You knew already after the first time
That you had to be
that you had
careful.
to start being careful. And you did it the second time. And even beyond all of that, the reason why I put the asterisk isn't even for those two reasons about the point deduction.
Right.
It's because overall, Holly just did more.
Yep.
Holly did more.
But those things you thought decided that fight, and it was like, dude,
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
it.
I thought it was Holly at least 3-2, three
At
rounds of two.
3 rounds to 2. I thought it was. It was close. Each
Yeah.
round close
Yeah.
that Holly took. But nonetheless, Holly
'Cause-
should have. I honestly think should have
I
gotten
mean,
it.
one of those shots after was a power shot too. It wasn't like a little tap. I mean, it was. It
That's the
wasn't.
second
it wasn't.
one, right?
Yeah,
Second
it
one.
wasn't like bell rings hit. It was bell ring hit, and I'm like, come on, dude.
And yet again, the politics of the UFC.
I was
No,
losing
hey.
my mind.
Like, clearly there was some weird things going on with this. Let's see if we can get this turned to a no contest and run it back because
Yeah,
those
right.
two, because it was an impressive performance on
Yeah.
both parts. Don't get me wrong. Jermaine is a dangerous woman. I'm not saying she would lose the rematch. I'm not even saying that she 100% lost the first one. I think, in my opinion, Holly won it. But you could argue both sides.
Yeah.
Right.
I am saying, though, when you get two shots in like that, and it clearly has affected the fighter at some point,
Yeah.
and you only have two women, by the way, in your 145 division. That's why also this is an
Yeah.
asterisk. 'Cause
That's right.
How much longer is this division staying around? You're waiting on Cyborg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You're waiting.
That's a good point to bring up with all of the women divisions. The pool is just very shallow. They don't have a whole lot of depth in there
Yeah.
for even to get the competitors. I mean, even if you go to Invicta and some of the other, big promotions as a funnel, it's still it doesn't have the depth yet.
Now I will say that Cyborg said if you give her another month, she would have been ready for it. And UFC was like, no, we're doing this now.
Because they needed the event to make the money. Just
Yeah.
to say they did it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, for me, I was just like, come on, guys, y'all gotta let this fight go.
I hope to see Cyborg in there again because she has fought for the UFC once in Brazil, and I'd like to see her come back in and do what she could do and get her due because I mean she's arguably before when Ronda was there the big fight would have been her and Ronda, and now with Ronda kind of stepping away, let's see what Cyborg could be.
Absolutely.
Had some hype for her.
That
And
was
she
a-
came in and dominated
That's a
that
powerhouse
fight.
who
And
Yeah.
then
can.
where'd she go?
And she can keep going. I think that's what a lot of people don't realize.
Well,
She's a-
Cyborg, they said, I mean, before that last fight, I mean, she really hurt her body
Ah.
trying to cut all that weight.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
she said that if she did it again,
struggled getting down to 145, and they got her all the way down to 135. No, 140 is
140.
140. It's a catch weight, yeah. And I mean,
But her
You know
trainer
what I'm
messed
saying?
up
It
too.
takes a lot
He
of
put on
weight.
birth control pills to cut
yeah,
weight.
it was stupid.
Stupid.
Almost literally, I think she was worried that if she did it again, it could kill her.
yeah. I mean, they said they were really worried about it because they had a documentary on ESPN, and they say they really do believe there's a correlation from cutting weight, have less fluid in your body, to concussions.
Oh, I can see that.
And you don't have that fluid in you to protect your brain.
I've never been big on the whole idea of weight cut when those guys. There's some people that have that ability. Tito Ortiz.
Yeah, Chelsea. Well, mostly the wrestlers.
Yep.
Because they really used to doing that.
Yeah, they've got a whole history of doing it, and it's an unsafe practice.
Yeah.
On both sides, it's like because what you said was we weigh in and then we fight the next day, and you've got a guy who's 20 pounds heavier. Well, that's an unsafe situation.
Yeah.
If you said, hey, if you want to fight at 155, step on the scale, boom, let's go into the ring.
Yeah.
Dude, you would have people coming in there at a better hydration. They wouldn't feel like they're just drained. I'd love to see what that would look like.
Yeah.
Step on the scale. If you're way overweight, like, you got to allow some weight, like, fluctuation.
Yeah.
But if you're, like, 10 pounds, or let's go with 7. You're 7 pounds overweight.
I'd even say, give them a 2-pound little play, because it is the day of.
I mean,
That's your paycheck. We're taking a chunk out of your paycheck. Go fight.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Yeah, and if it's at 5, then you forfeit the whole thing, so you better be on. They're professionals. They need to learn how to dial it in, and I don't think it's too much to ask of.
Now, I will say this. I was watching listen to the Chris Jericho podcast, which I love. Talk is Jericho. Awesome. You're awesome, Chris Jericho. I don't want to be on the list. But anyway, he had Alexa Bliss on there. She's a wrestler now, champion. Love me Alexa Bliss. But she's talking about when her fitness competitions. She said the couple days before, they would do nothing but just sip a little bit of water and eat the driest things they could find. And that included dry oatmeal.
No.
How disgusting does that sound?
Dude, that's rough.
Dry oatmeal. Just like open up a packet.
Yeah.
Their skin would be like transparent.
And she said she was on a flight going to her competition. She had just ate some. She said she coughed and a puff of cinnamon come out.
Jeez.
I laughed. She goes, "Oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed." I was like, "That is hilarious." It's like you just coughed cinnamon. You're adorable.
Speaking of weight cuts, have you guys, I know this goes a little bit beyond Jermaine, but have you guys heard the new policies that California is thinking about introducing?
Yeah. I mean, well, they've already started instituting some of these things, like, probably a year ago with no IVs and all that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And California now is instituting, some new
7-point
policies.
policy. One of which is, you have to get weighed in 10 days beforehand. You have to be within, I'm trying to think, was it 10% or 15%?
I can't remember either. But
There's a certain percentage you have to be within your weight class. You have to register also officially of what weight class you want to be in.
Yeah.
If you constantly miss weight, it's going to be strongly suggested by the doctor, which basically means he's going to say, go
You
up.
can't- yeah, you
go
gotta
up
go
or you're
up.
not fighting. A doctor can strongly can suggest that you go up a weight class. Basically meaning if you pull a Kelvin Gastelum, doctor can just say, you are now officially a 185 fighter or you're not a fighter.
How about that?
Wow.
That's what he needs to
I
do.
Well,
know.
he's not in this state.
Sonnen, he said he cut like 30 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like in 2 days. I'm like, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was on dialysis. I couldn't even cut more than 11.
You got 11?
I cut 11 pounds in 6 hours on dialysis one time.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So there you go.
I'm doing that.
It wasn't as fun as you think.
All right, let's go to the next weight class.
Now to the gentleman. And I really want to save this guy to last, but he's first on the
Let's do it,
way.
yeah.
You got Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse.
Demetrius.
Johnson.
To me, I don't see anybody beating him in that weight class.
That's tough, man. He makes it look so easy because he's such a different level than all these other guys at that weight class.
It's one of those things you don't see somebody that. I think of him as Ant-Man. He's going around so fast, but everything is in slow motion and he's under control with everything.
He looks like that's a good way to put it. Like he is in control of every second.
Yeah.
Even if the guys get shots on him,
Yeah.
it's for like a blip.
Yeah.
And he's like, boom, and then back into it, and that's rare.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great champion. He's also a good ambassador, and he's starting to make a lot of noise right now because he's like, you know what? I'm not getting paid right.
Well, I tell you the biggest thing about him, and I had a
He's not
problem
being
with-
paid like a champion, is what he said.
I had a problem with what they were doing with him for a long, long time.
Which is what?
They were putting him on fight nights and not on the cards,
Yeah.
on the UFC
Fight Nights
numbered
and
events.
And Fox.
Yeah, and I had a huge issue with this.
Why?
I'm like, if you're a champion, you should be on pay-per-view. I mean, you shouldn't be on the Ultimate Fight Night. That should be for everyone else. They should not have numbered events
Right.
without at least one title fight. There's plenty of divisions.
I do
have a minimum of one and should be at least two about anymore.
I do agree that there's definitely a higher level of prestige with the numbered events.
Yeah.
but there's a bigger audience that you get to be on the stage in front of. That's why you've got guys
Yeah.
like Joe Lozon.
And your paycheck
Joe
is going to be a
Lozon
whole
loves
lot less, too.
Well, now that is, potentially true on some of these guys. And for the most part, if they're getting back end pay, like, hey, I get some of the draw. But that's a thing where
If you're a champion,
manager and
what
your
would you want to
agent-
be?
well, that's what I'm saying. If I'm gonna get a chance to be on television in front of this many million,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's literally sometimes triple of what the pay-per-view is going to be.
I mean, to me, I'd be like, no, I want to be on the pay-per-view. That's where I want to be.
I will say this though, I do understand where you're
Yeah,
coming from.
I do too.
Benson Henderson, I'm pretty sure, strongly always wanted to be on a Fox Sports card.
Yes,
Because he knew more people would
he
see
knew
it.
more people were going to see it.
And then,
Because then what you're talking about is increasing your brand.
yeah.
And when your brand is there, then you can take and have an arguability to take and say, well, look at the numbers that I drew here. Maybe now I can get a back-end pay on the pay-per-view. Because then you can take and have a crowd that's following you. Yeah, like if you had Anthony Pettis on the WEC do that Showtime kick on Fox or a fight night, dude, he was already on a box of Wheaties. I mean, for doing that, man, unreal.
Yeah, I would want to be there.
All right. I'm saying,
Yep.
you're talking about the payday, which it is what he brought up. He also brought up the fact that he didn't have 10 belts. So he brought his one belt to every fight. So if he lost it, he literally had no
That was
belts.
it.
Yeah.
That was it.
And now they got him all his belts. So he's all like, yeah.
I'm hoping that Mighty Mouse does get what he is due.
Yeah.
The UFC is a powerhouse. They're a business, and they need to make money, but they need to treat him with the respect. That's one of the greatest of all time.
What is flyweight? 125?
125.
Teeny guy.
Yeah,
And the
he's
argument
just
from the UFC is
awesome.
that there's not that many butts that get in the seat from the
For
lighter
his
weights.
fight.
Gosh, I would pay to watch his fights.
Oh, I would.
I mean, I also think there's the people that are not in the know.
Right.
They want bigger guys. They don't want somebody that's just got skill on top of more skill.
Or they want something that is a draw that's interesting
Some
to them,
star.
like Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, did I again?
Oh,
Ow!
oh,
Again?
oh.
But I want her to keep fighting so she won't act.
Oh, man.
Man, that's
All right. You're just trying to cut her soul. I get it.
Cut her.
Hey.
All right.
That got deep.
That's
She's
it. I
gotten.
felt it.
I'm just sorry, but she's gotten to the point where even Vince McMahon don't want her. That's kind of rough.
He does want a lot of, he doesn't say no to a lot.
I know, right? That's the insult right there.
Because he was like, all right, next year at WrestleMania, it's going to be Rousey and The Rock against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And what happened to that? Wow, wow. I mean, that says a lot right there for me when Vince is like, we'll just give her a space.
All right, next weight, bantamweight, 135. Cody.
Mighty Mouse, you still rule.
Cody, no love.
Cody, no love. So, who else is kind of a little suspicious of the UFC's advertisement for this upcoming fight when no love is kind of like, not sure exactly how my body's doing at this point.
It's a little like, wait a minute. This is before the fight. You're doing this, man? You're supposed to be in the prime right now.
Mm-hmm.
Fine oiled machine, and he is not. What do you think about him as a person?
All right.
I'll
'Cause he-
confess, I don't know much about him. I'll say
He
it, I
is
don't.
a loudmouth knucklehead, but he is an athlete.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't take it away from him.
I think he is. I think he's honestly like the definition of a bipolar Jersey. And he's not even from Jersey, so that should tell you something.
I know some bipolar people from Jersey.
Like the Jersey Shore stereotype bipolar. That's, in a sense, he's either your best friend who will probably hide a dead body with you,
Yeah, right.
or he's like your worst enemy, and you're like, the moment you turn your back, I'm not even gonna do anything. I'm just gonna call in a hitman.
And get it taken care of.
And just get it taken care of, because I'm so sick of you. I don't even want to physically deal with you myself.
Now, what do you think about his fighting style? Do you have you ever
Honestly,
seen
dude,
him
I
fight?
don't. I saw him fight
He's a scrapper.
Dominic,
man.
but that's the only fight I've ever seen him even fight.
Tell you what,
So
though,
I don't know if I can get a. Is that what he always does?
No,
that's not.
Say that. So
common.
then I don't know what he does.
he blitzes.
Yeah.
He blitzes with big punches.
He's
and
a scrapper.
Swings.
Mhm.
I was always waiting for one just decent counter shot to come and get him, but it's like the power he comes in and steps in with, it freezes people up. So they decide to slug with him, which dumb.
Yeah.
Or like they just kind of freeze up and they get hit a bunch, and that's that.
Dominic Cruz is not. I'm not a fan. He does great commentary.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you liked him on that.
He does, but he's a little bit of a know-it-all.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, you watch that, you see him and
Rogan.
No, Joe Rogan.
well,
Joe.
they have in the past. You
Because
know,
I
they've
was
shared
hearing him
mics.
and Daniel Cormier.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They kind of
They go back and forth.
Kind of go back and forth. Pretty good with stuff.
I do give him credit for taking and calling it the way he sees it, and
Mm-hmm.
not being weak about his opinions and be like, oh, okay, if you think that, then I do too.
Yeah.
But after a while, it gets to be like a little bit too much.
Yeah, like-
Me?
What? Not what?
What?
My nose is itching. My nose is itching, Bert.
We got
My
that on
nose is
camera.
itching.
I want you to know that we got that on camera.
Yeah,
That's
my
rough
nose
right
is
there,
itching.
man.
I don't know what's going on. Oh, yeah.
I think he's saying I'm not agreeable.
No, I'm saying you're very agreeable.
On
Aliens
movies.
do exist. Aliens exist. Do they?
I think they do.
Peasy.
No.
Now, what do you think?
I don't think they Nah, you convinced me. Great argument. Great argument.
Way to stay steadfast in your stance.
Yes. And anyway, back to Cody
I'm gonna see.
Thanks-
how
Thanks for making this
Josh
personal.
doesn't
and
know.
Dominic.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know. All right, but so Cody, that's who I think he is. I think honestly he's got a personality that you need to be around him since I'm gonna go probably like around his late teens. If you're around him around his late teens, you saw him growing up, you're like, all right, Cody's gonna be Cody. I think that's the kind of general.
The kind of
feeling
friend you
get.
can only take in small doses.
Yeah, he's that friend you get a small dose. You're just like, I grew up with him, so I can do it.
Why is he pointing at you? Man.
Because I'm that kind of friend.
Yeah.
Delusional.
He's like, I can't stand Christian those glasses anymore. What? What?
I don't know why I hit it from the camera. It's like Rocket. I winked with my wrong eye again.
So that's my opinion on his personality. As a fighter, I think he's phenomenal. I think he's found a style which suits him, which in his weight class no one else can just match up to at the current time. Dillashaw will move, but as we saw with the Cruz fight,
Yeah.
he knows how to not charge in and take a bunch of shots.
He's a smart fighter. You've been training with Dwayne the Bang Ludwig, man. Moved
Dude,
camps from Alpha.
I
Man.
tell you what, there was a guy I really liked, Ludwig, and then he just kind of disappeared.
He honestly became a coach and was
Yeah.
trying to build his association because the money that the UFC wasn't was paying him wasn't that much, and he was
I mean,
like, I can do better in my own world than here. He's already got the fastest knockout in UFC history. That stamp right there.
Was it still there?
I think it is. It,
'Cause I didn't know it-
might not be.
Because I didn't know if McGregor.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because I remember watching that fight. I was like,
I think McGregor was 15, and I think his was 13.
yeah, well, I remember the clock said
Right.
like 8, and they're like, it was 13 seconds.
Yeah, I
Like,
do remember
what?
that. Yeah. He could have it.
Mhm.
All right, let's move on from Cody. Cody is gonna take and possibly be around for a little while, so we'll get to know him as
Well,
he.
it's just funny because I was. Well, I'll tell you this at the end of the thing. Featherweight. I guess we still don't have a champion in that right now.
No, Jose Aldo is the champion.
Yeah,
So is
interim.
he the actual champion?
He's the interim
Because
champion.
on one of the things I looked at, there was 2 different guys.
Max Holloway's the interim.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Max Holloway.
Max Holloway.
So we do have a champion and an interim champion, and they should be going against each other.
They're going against each other
Okay.
because Conor vacated. You can't take and have the defense, especially now. He's trying to 3 different things he's trying to fight for with the
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather.
And he's gonna wait for Floyd and never defend any of these titles.
I love Jose. I'm
Yeah.
pulling for Jose versus
too.
Max. Max, I mean, he's all right and stuff. He's a little stiffer than when I first saw him fight. I was expecting him to be a lot looser on his hands or on his feet rather, and with his hands. And he moves like a really stiff, heavier guy.
I remember watching him in his earlier fights. Like he would flow. He would flow when he fought earlier, but
And now he's like robotic and plotting and effective though.
I think that was the thing. He was just like, if I keep beating everyone in the division,
That's right.
I'm gonna get the title shot.
Yeah.
And I think that was his whole mindset. Because when he was loose, he would lose fights. They were exciting,
Right.
but
But that's a fight I want to see.
Yeah.
Max and Jose, that's a good fight. I want to see that.
I do too.
And that bumps us up now because of the interim thing. That one's kind of being held hostage until that is contested. Lightweight, 155. Can't believe that we have to say this.
The hate is
Do
strong.
we have to? Or can it just be implied that someone we care not much for, except for a certain someone? Oh, wait, hold on. There we go.
Conor McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
Conor McGregor.
Hate him, love him, indifferent. He did it.
He did it with
Always
passion.
gonna have my respect for that.
Yeah.
As much as I want to take and be like, ugh, nothing but respect.
Yeah.
He did it.
He beat the champion. He
He
beat
beat
the
it.
legit champion,
And
too.
he made it look easy.
Yeah.
He didn't take, and I was hoping that it was going to be
Those who don't know is Eddie Alvarez. by the
Eddie
way.
Alvarez,
So,
who just had a war the other night, a
Mhm.
heartbreak, no contest, whatever.
gosh, I hate those.
Oh, dude, that was a good fight, though. I actually became a bigger fan of him in that fight, after his comeback. I mean, he did good. Anyway, Conor, definitely the powerhouse. He had this thing where he was saying, you know what? I didn't come to take part. I came to take over. And
Mhm.
he has.
Yeah.
He has. You got to be careful. There's a lot of the guys in the championship, positions that are looking at him, and the jealousy and the stuff is getting real. They're like, dude,
Yeah.
this is the Conor McGregor show.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just living in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And he is good, but it's because he puts butts in the seats.
Yep.
And that's why.
Hands down. Because, I mean, he's good. I don't take it away from him. But Nate beat him
Yep.
handily.
Handily.
Yeah, and then the second rematch, didn't go the way that, I wanted it. I wanted Nate to do it again. But
it was close the second
but it was
time,
close, too.
Mm-hmm.
Give it an extra round.
So,
That would have been it.
what do you think? I know you're a huge Conor fan.
Uh-huh.
All right. You happy with him staying at lightweight, or want him to go to Floyd Mayweather? What do you want to see for his direction?
I honestly, I'm not into the whole boxing thing. If he would have floated between the two weight classes, I would have been cool with that. If they had to take one just because, I would have been cool with that. But going outside of I don't see how that's going to help UFC or him.
It's just going to help
Oh,
him. With
it will
money.
help him a lot.
Yeah, with money.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's a big money.
I'm like this.
Until the fight happens.
I'm like
Doesn't
this.
matter. He's guaranteed
Yeah.
$25 million.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I'm like this. Would you like to make more money in one night than you've ever made in your entire life?
And that you'll ever
But what's-
make in your career.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you never make that much anywhere else, but if you come back to UFC and now your brand's hurt because you got embarrassed.
Yeah, but if you got $25 million, he don't need another
Well,
payday.
you know what?
If he
You know,
comes
the only
back.
thing I got to worry about with $25 million
If
is
he
that
comes
lumpy
back.
mattress with all that money stuffed in it.
If I were Conor McGregor, I would push for the Floyd.
Yeah.
I would.
I
I'd
would.
push with everything I had.
Mhm.
Win, lose, or draw, I put up the best fight that I could
Mhm.
to keep my brand as solid as possible, and then I'd go to Hollywood. I'd do movies.
Yeah, he's in Game of Thrones this season.
Yep.
Oh,
was
was
he
it really?
really?
I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah.
He is.
So,
Is he a good actor?
I don't know. They haven't showed him yet. He probably is going to be treated like every other UFC fighter in any other TV show.
a blip.
Immediately killed or
No
something.
lines, all action, no lines.
Is it gonna be like?
Look, did you see Conor McGregor was in there?
Is he like Randy
I think he hit
Couture?
Randy Couture. Yeah, he was in there too.
Is Randy Couture talking about his ears?
Yeah.
The Expendables. That was awesome.
You gotta stop making fun
But
of my ears.
I will say this: Randy is a capable actor now.
He's not bad. I mean, for
Not bad, man.
for the directed, Netflix and DVD and all this
Mhm.
fare that they have, why not?
I mean, he did really good in Expendables and other things as well. So,
What about you? What's your take on Conor McGregor? We got to spend a little time. He is the focal point of
Pretty much
the
the face,
champion.
right?
he's all right, I reckon. I don't know. Who's this McGregor kid we talking about?
Yeah.
Who is he?
Who is this guy?
I don't
No,
know.
I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying. I mean, I think he should go for the money.
Go for the money.
I would. I mean, it's
I
like
would
this. There's a lottery ticket over there with a lot of money on it, or there's a little scratch ticket over here with some decent money on it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Go for the big one.
What about
You
you,
know
Christian?
what? I mean, he could pull the upset.
He could.
I'm not saying he will. I don't think he will.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he'll get knocked out either. I think he's going to be pointed because I think that's what Floyd does.
Yeah.
He points you to death.
I think he could get knocked out.
Manny
but-
Pacquiao.
When was the last?
Yeah.
When was the last time he knocked out somebody?
I'm not saying that he could knock out a world class boxer, but here's
No,
the thing.
I'm saying. I mean, will he get knocked out? Is what I'm saying.
Who?
But-
McGregor.
McGregor.
Yeah, I'm
McGregor.
saying McGregor is not a world class boxer.
I just
if
don't-
you
I
see
don't think he's
him
getting
in
knocked
his
out.
sparring matches with some of these high class
Mm-hmm.
or high level sparring partners, he's just okay.
Mhm.
However, he's accurate with the left hand and he has a puncher's chance. And if he hurts Floyd one time, that's it. He's in.
If F's and butts are candy nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
Ain't it true? If and buts.
And
Candy nuts.
Oh, my opinion. Okay. Well, in case he ever sees this, first off, McGregor.
I respect you.
Nah.
Nah.
Nah. Nah.
See, I wouldn't have even gone
I
back
was-
direction with it, but okay. If you ever see this,
You
I'm
are
a very big fan.
As a fighter,
PZ hates you.
he is by far one of the most entertaining fighters
Yeah,
agree.
to
very much
watch.
so.
It would probably be now. He says this also. Never compare him to Ali, and that's true. You are.
Yeah, he's him.
You will always be you.
Uh-huh.
He will always be himself. As a fighter, though, I would compare like just the way he does things. Incredible. As an individual, though, and what he has done to the UFC as a whole, can't stand what he did, and that's in part because of him. But he flat out said it. He said, "I'm going to come here. I'm going to make a ton of money,
And I'm going to get out.
I'm going to do what I want to do."
Yeah.
And my issue is when you did that, the UFC bid onto it, seeing how much money you could bring in. But because they bid onto that, so many other divisions now are royally messed up.
They're messed up.
Yeah.
Because they tried to emulate what you did and force it upon other fighters.
Dude, stupid.
And when they tried that, only McGregor can be McGregor, which is yet again where I will give him his respect. Only McGregor can be McGregor, and only he can do what he did.
Right.
Because when you try and force it, that's why you have an interim/champion. But the
hate
interim champion came before the champion in 145.
Yep.
That's why you got people always calling out shots against people they have no business calling out.
And it takes and hurts the idea of a champion. It doesn't. The belt
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because
doesn't.
what's one of the biggest fights of the whole last year? It was not even for a belt. It was Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor for
Yep.
bragging rights of who's the best smack talker and fighter.
Mm-hmm.
There is a argument for that. But the UFC, to protect its league, is what they are.
Yeah.
They need to take and make sure that the champions are respected as... You
As
can't have
champions.
people like GSP jumping in front of the other guys.
Yeah.
Just because he
because
retired undefeated.
Yeah, it's not smart.
It's not.
Smart. It's not good business for your champions.
Yeah.
And I'm a GSP fan.
Do you have a problem with champions in two divisions?
I do if he didn't take and earn his shot in there. You
Mm-hmm.
can't be the champion in one and then just get a wild hair and say, well, I'd like a shot at that.
Eh.
How does that work? Everyone else has to fire themselves all the way through?
Mm-hmm.
You have to beat at least a contender.
I'll tell you why
They
I have a problem with
At
the way
least.
he's done it is because I like the way, and I know you don't like this, Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva, he fought in two divisions, but he made sure he stayed active in his division.
Yeah.
And I know you think all of them were fixed, but that's
Are you really?
He paid a few off.
he's called them on
Oh,
more than they
Anderson,
gave you.
really? Oh, Lord, you're killing me.
He's like,
But I mean,
I heard
like if
that.
you're gonna be in another
Thought
division,
in.
you know, at least stay active in your division.
he's going to find you now.
Yeah, he's gonna beat you with a broken leg.
All right, now look, this is a good segue too, talking about the multi-divisions, because the next division up is welterweight
Yep.
and Tyrone Woodley. And there's
Tyron
been
Woodley.
talk
I remember
with
Tyron.
Connor.
Tyron Woodley.
What did I say?
Tyrone.
Oh, Tyrone.
He made a stink about it on
Right.
I think the MMA podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was just like, it's Tyron. Not
Don't
Tyrone.
call me Tyrone.
My mom didn't
There
name
is
it Tyrone.
no E on
There's
it.
no
It's
E
Tyron.
in.
Tyron. Tyron the Tyrant Woodley. But Connor was talking smack about going there and taking that belt
I
too.
remember that.
Yes.
Mhm.
And you remember what every welterweight told him? Come up here.
Come
if you
up
want,
here if you want, and we're gonna
and we will send you back,
Back
down.
down.
Wait, did he not one time say he thought about going against Brock?
Yeah, yeah. And let me tell you, as a character and as a guy who's trying to get paid, that's what he should do.
Mm-hmm.
He should be there and saying, I don't care. Put me in there with Brock Lesnar, and I will take him apart.
His character fits that profile.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because you're there to sell tickets. The moment you get realistic, that's great. You're going to be over here with all of the billion other guys who are doing the same boring answers like, well, you know, I'm ready to fight whoever the UFC puts in front of me, and, you know, I'm just hoping for the best, and my training partners, I'm going to... That's not how you get paid.
I just have a feeling he goes home and he's like, "Did you hear what I said today? I don't even know where I come up with that.
I'm incredible. I'm immaculate.
I'm just gonna go home and take a nap now.
And I'll tell you this,
I'm gonna take a very efficient nap.
Chael Sonnen was talking about this, and I thought this was just a stroke of
Chael
genius.
still undefeated, by the
Chael,
way.
the man.
Still undefeated.
If you ask him.
He's on ESPN, so he's like, I am still undefeated.
He said the biggest
Cracks me
mistake that people make is when they have a big win, and they ask him to say, so what do you want next? And they don't have an answer.
Yeah.
He said the promotion for the next fight starts right then.
Mm-hmm.
He said that's when you start calling somebody out. Well, you see this guy over here? I'm gonna take your, food off your table. Yeah.
Yeah. Have them come into the cage and say, "I am not impressed by your performance."
Hey, you can say whatever you want, but 10 years later, that is still on our lips.
Still gold.
Matthews, I'm not impressed by your performance. And then he was looking at everybody like Fozzie Bear, like, ah. And I was like,
He was like, what?
who told you to say that?
He's like, you come in looking like a robot, dude.
You should have had somebody coach you a little bit,
But
George.
I will say this: GSP to me, out of all the fighters, still the best martial artist because he'll do anything,
Love him.
train any way to get better, and I love that.
He's my favorite.
He'll go out
Yeah.
there and he's like, ballet. If that'll help me get light on my feet, I'll
do
try it.
Gymnastics, that's what he's pushed, I love it.
He try to become a wrestler. He'll do whatever he can.
So Tyron, what do we think about him as far as his longevity now in this division? Is this a flash in the pan?
I think, personally, Tyron has it nailed down on exactly how to be a long-lasting fighter.
Okay.
Because, one, when he said he didn't want that Stephen Wonderboy Thomas rematch right off the bat,
That's smart.
I completely agree with him. And I don't. It had nothing. And for everyone out there that says, "Oh, well, he was running scared," let me go ahead and clarify this for you. He was not scared
No.
the slightest bit.
I agree.
He's a fighter. He's a champ. He knows what it means to be a champ.
And he's a businessman.
And he's a businessman. And he knew for a fact we just fought each other for 5 rounds,
Yep.
and you want us to fight 4 months later.
Yeah.
We know each other inside
Yep.
and out.
They've
That
got
fight
10 rounds against each
Is
other.
going to be
The
terrible.
same. It'd be the same.
It's going to be the same.
And you basically got 10 rounds and a coin toss to say who won.
He's like,
Yeah, and I don't like that immediate rematch thing. That whole thing is like, hey, you're gonna. I'm not against rematches. I've already said I like them. But that, it's like, you're right. It's like, dude, 4 months, we're going to be pretty much the same guys, just healed up and doing it again.
same thing.
Give
And
us some time
so,
to develop.
when he called Damian Maia or Nate Diaz, when he went for the money fights, I personally do not think this man thought he was going to get one of them. I honestly do think what he was trying to do was, let me create some diversity. Was he turning a bit of a heel? He was like, man, look, if that's what's going to make me money, that's what's going to make me money. Because he said it multiple times. I have to go out and do my own campaigning for my own money 90% of the time with the UFC.
He's a prize fighter.
Yep.
I had to go to the Fast 6 set.
Yep.
I had to go into town. I went to the schools. I had to set up the interviews. I had to do.
Really? I did not know all that. That's what he said?
He had to do a lot of stuff on his own. Now, the UFC set him up with Embedded, and they set him up with the show. But outside of that, beyond that, they knew nothing about like the fact that he coaches little kids. They knew nothing about the community work he's done.
Wow.
And he's like, that's a huge audience, especially in lower class places, because he came from a rough neighborhood.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like, the fact that you haven't tried to even tap in there
That's right.
is like kind of my problem right now, which is why I have to do what I have to do.
Right. And he's got to do his leg work. That's a shame,
So-
especially when you see somebody who is doing some positive things.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
when I saw that stuff on Embedded, I was like, man, this guy's an awesome dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Now-
not just a big tough guy. He's a good guy.
You mentioned a name that got me real excited in
Maya?
this mix. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was saying too. As soon as he said that, I was like,
Damian
whoa,
The
whoa,
thing
whoa.
is, he called out Damian. He was like, let me fight Damian Maya.
Yep.
He's like,
That's
let me
great.
fight him.
That should be a good fight if they do.
So I see no
Oh,
reason for him to say
oh.
no now.
That right there's got me excited. I'd love to
Oh,
see
yeah.
that. I don't know if they're going to make that fight first, because you can make an argument from a spectator's point of view that Damian's not the most exciting fighter, because it looks like an anaconda just taking his prey and just
Yeah.
slowly
Yeah.
doing whatever he wants
That's
with
what
him, as
Masvidal
opposed to
learned.
the knockouts. So all right, Tyrone's going to be something we need to keep our eyes on.
But one last thing on Tyrone from
Yeah.
me anyway.
Tyrone.
Tyrone.
Tyron. Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron. One
To
thing.
Tyrone.
One thing from Woodley. Do you know how often he actually fights? Like on average in a year,
What?
No.
No.
he fights like once or twice a year. Like
Okay.
even before he was champ.
Really?
These
Yeah.
champions. Now, don't get me wrong. I love it when champions are like go get 'ems, like pulling Cowboys or whatnot. But one thing that got Cowboy when he fought Masvidal, outside of him not moving his head movement, everybody.
Yeah.
Head movement. Move your head if you
Yeah.
want to fight. Street fight, pro fight,
Doesn't
boxing
matter.
fight, don't matter. Move your
Pillow
head.
fight?
Move
Pillow
the
fight.
computer.
Pillow fights especially. Cerrone, that was his 4th fight that year.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, he drives to all his fights. He doesn't
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
fly.
got an RV. Awesome.
So
you ever see that?
Yeah, not if you're fighting like 4 or 5 times a year.
he looked expended.
He-
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you see this all the time with fighters. Woodley stays like, all right, I got my one big fight.
Mhm.
Boom.
See-
Give me some time off. Next big
Yeah,
fight.
I mean,
Boom.
I gotta be honest. I wish it was more like that because when we were growing up, there was what 4 a year max, two, and
Once it started going,
Yeah.
two at the very
Yeah.
first few years,
yeah, and so you
they
didn't-
were events.
You didn't always have people injured, and I
Right.
think that's the big problem now.
Yeah.
When you've got what 13, 14 a year,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you got all the other little events you got thrown in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a huge problem with some of the champs and stuff.
I agree. I remember when I saw Tyron doing his first couple of fights. Think about it. Don't
Tyron.
call him Tyrone.
It's just Tyron.
Tyron.
Ty.
Like a tyrant.
Tyron.
Hey, no
Hey.
drinking.
Hey,
Hey.
Dude, Jackie.
drunken like of a master.
Next
But
champ.
I saw him just put like this incredible, aggressive beat down on these guys, and he just looked like somebody taking like a school bully taking the nerds' money, you know. And I was like,
He ain't
wow,
taking
man.
these nerds' money. Well, man,
That right hand of
Not you?
his.
yeah, ain't no my money. He's not gonna take it. I'm gonna give it to him. That's totally different from taking it.
Tyron, Aaron,
Tyron.
we're following you, man. Good
Tyron.
luck to you.
Yeah.
Jumping up into
Middleweight.
the middleweight. The division held by Anderson Silva for years, so everybody said, you know what, that's it. He's
Mhm.
the man.
Until he quit paying people off.
Ran out of money, I guess.
In what world would you ever have thought that Michael Bisping would have literally not only been the champ, but had successful belt defenses and wins over Dan Henderson and Anderson Silva? That was like a fantasy what-if comic book, man. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Gosh.
Was one of these not an official title fight?
The Anderson Silva fight wasn't a title fight.
Yeah, because of a weight thing.
Yeah, 'cause I think
No,
one
because
wasn't a weight.
none of them had the title. That was his propelling
I-
into fighting for the title against Rockhold again.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
I've got
Okay.
him having one defense
I love.
against Hendo.
I got you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I got you. Well,
Good fight.
I love what Dana White said about Luke Rockhold lately.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Rockhold was just giving them all kinds of grief about the GSP because now he
Mm-hmm.
was he was the champ, and now he's like, second class
Mm-hmm.
citizen. And Dana White said, "Shut up! You got knocked out in the first round. Earn your way back up." I was like, "Whoa!" From what I've
He
heard,
said it.
Luke is
He
a
said
douchebag.
it.
Mhm.
If you talk to him, he's just like Mr. California. I'm everything, and I'm like, "Go away,
Mhm.
just go away."
Oh yeah. That's Luke though. Millionaire matchmaker though.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I guess we can say whatever we want about him.
He's the man.
He
but
does.
he
He's
just-
got it.
He's just a douche.
He is.
Now Bisping, I never liked him.
I never liked him, but I will say this: I've started liking him more
Me too.
as a commentator and stuff, doing that stuff.
Well,
That's actually helped me like him.
that's helped me like him. But the fact that this guy just never quit
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
then said, "I
Yes,
don't care.
yes,
No one
yes,
believes in me.
yes.
I'm gonna do it," and he did it. I
Yeah.
was like, "That's cool."
Yeah, was he? How many years was he fighting before he got the title?
Oh, dude,
like a
God,
decade or
yeah,
something.
probably
a
10
decade
years.
plus.
Because I remember they said I think that was the longest anyone had been fighting before they got a title.
He's one of the few people on the Ultimate Fighter of that kind of era. Like at the
Mhm.
very beginning, he was like
Yeah.
on what, show number 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the ballpark, yeah.
You know, a lot of those guys, they're mostly retired
Yeah.
besides Diego Sanchez.
Mhm.
You know, and
He's on
Bisping.
whatever legs you want to say. he's
Yeah.
Oh man, he's
Yeah.
on some last legs
He's on
right
some
there,
last
buddy.
leg.
You can't take in slug foo and be a heavy bag and say this is gonna work out great at the end. He's like, no.
You got to change up something. But all right, I will say this about Bisping. One, my friend said exactly what you said. He said Michael Bisping is that one guy who, honestly, if you think about it, has nothing particularly special about him.
Nothing.
Nothing He's a good martial artist.
Yeah.
He can fight. He has guts.
He's good at everything, but he's not great at anything.
He is the definition of a man that goes out there on heart and
Yeah.
heart
Right.
and heart alone. There is no trick coming out of his sleeve. There's no over the top strategy he's got.
That's right.
He just comes out there and he keeps pushing, and that's all he's got. But that's what's gotten him the win.
That's the whole thing, though. When you say he keeps pushing, he does come in shape,
He comes in
Yeah.
shape.
so
Mhm.
that he's gonna be, even though he's not like stellar in any one of those areas, in that 5th round, he's still gonna have that gas tank to push, and at that level, let me tell you this: one of my coaches always told me, he goes, "I don't care how fast you are.
Mhm.
I don't care how strong you are, how flexible, how coordinated, or how skilled you are. when you can't breathe, you're none of those things.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. If you can't breathe, you're done. And that guy, even being like middle of the round, if he's in the 5th round and he's still like, dude, I'm still. GSP was always big on that. Randy Couture, same thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have the gas tank to be in that 5th round and be like, I'm ready. I used to love Randy Couture in the 5th round. Everybody just be like, pulling whether the fight was going good or bad for him. It didn't matter. In the 5th round, he'd stand up and look at the crowd with this big smile.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, what's up? And he said he got that from his Olympic Training Center mental conditioning. They went through a bunch of mental coaches and talked about putting them in the zone. If you're not in an enjoyable state, you can't draw all of the different skill sets that you want to. So if you get, I gotta focus, it's actually gonna clam you up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see him going to the ring like this.
Yeah.
And you're like, is he serious? He knows exactly what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So Michael Bisping, you call yourself a fan now?
I not a fan, but I'm more of a fan than I once was because I once really could despise the dude,
Oh yeah, me too.
and now I'm like,
Dan Anderson doing this
Yeah.
thing here is one of my highlights
Oh,
of
dude,
that year.
I told you guys I met him not long after that, Henderson, and I was like, dude, thank you for shutting up Bisping. And he goes, dude, you don't have to thank me. It was my pleasure. I was like, yeah. that's
I
awesome.
told you when I met Dan, right?
Mhm.
I go up to his little table there, and he was signing like pictures and stuff. And I had $20 in my hand, and I walk up and I go, "Hey man, how much for a signed picture?" And as soon as it came out of my mouth, I saw a sign right he had set up said free, and he looked at me. He looked at the sign. He looked at my 20. He goes, $20. I was like,
And you were like, well, dang, I guess I have to now.
I was like, dude, oh heck no. He was like, no.
That's the dummy tax right there. Like,
That's what my dad always calls the lottery. He goes, oh, you got to pay
Hey,
the
that's
dummy
right.
tax? What's
Yeah.
the dummy tax? Well, you see, they have this tax for dumb people. It's called the lottery. They tell you can win $1 million. You give me $1 a day. All right, hey, light heavyweight, DC.
DC.
Daniel
Daniel
Cormier.
Cormier.
Oh man.
What do you think about him being the champion right now?
I still like it, dude, myself.
I love the dude.
Yeah, I love his wrestling. I like
But
the
him
guy.
being the champion is always going to have an asterisk by it.
Yeah.
From JJ,
From John the Bones Jones.
can he straighten himself out ever?
We'll see.
Mhm.
Supposed to happen.
And I'm still the
No,
guy
I'll
that's
do it.
like I will believe it when it happens.
If they fight
So
again,
I would still worry about John.
And they actually get into that cage
They get in that
and
cage.
not get disqualified for trying to kill each other illegally.
right.
Then I'll be like, hey, look, they fought.
John Jones, styles make fights. John Jones matches up in a way that DC is just his kryptonite.
Mhm.
However, John Jones fighting OVP
Stephen A. Smith.
for his warm-up fight when he came back,
Was his kryptonite.
boy, he looked like he needed a warm-up fight.
Mhm.
He wasn't the same. And now it's been 2 years.
Mm.
So this just gets a little more
Has it been 2
interesting.
years since that OSP fight?
Dude, oh, not since then, since DC.
Oh, since DC.
Yeah, I think they're in their second year. It's in their second year.
I will say this. Something I've noticed with John Jones, and I think this is why I firmly do believe that Rumble Johnson had the best chance of beating him. Jones doesn't do well with people with the same reach as him.
Gustafson.
Gustafson, you saw, and everyone likes to put the whole thing of like, oh, well, he was always out partying, and the only time like he
Whatever.
wasn't out partying. I'm like, look here.
What got him to the
Jones-
championship was the same
That's
party.
the party. It was the same party because the way he looked when fighting DC, because he said, well, I did coke. I'm like, okay, so you amped yourself up on some speed.
Yeah, right.
So, like, if anything, that should have, like, done something for
Oh,
you.
dude, you should have been like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you look the same fighting DC
Yeah.
as you did fighting Gustafson, which means it made no difference.
Mhm.
It made no difference in your game.
I agree.
But people with the same reach. There was one time when he was fighting OSP. Now, he dominated the fight. But there was one time he was fighting OSP when he put his hand out to reach, because he usually does that. He reaches out,
And he's
gauges
eye
distance,
jabbing accidentally, but
eye
over
jabbing.
and over.
and he put it on OSP's shoulder. And the moment he put it on his shoulder, I know OSP said this in his head. Gotcha. He turned
Bam.
his hip so fast
Yeah.
Mhm.
and nailed him with a shot that honestly should have floored him.
Should have
Yeah.
floored him.
Should have floored him. When he fought Gustafson, every time he reached out, because you can tell this is a practice habit that John Jones must use.
Yeah.
Yep.
Forever.
Every time he reached out, Gustafson reached out too, but he had a closed fist.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yep.
And I tell you, it does bug me over and over and over, him having that extended hand and catching people in the eyes and being warned. After a while, you're like, Now it's looking like you don't care.
Yeah.
Now it's not an accident. If you do it the first few times, or a couple of different fights, maybe, but it's always with him. Now, who is DC scheduled to fight next?
It's Jones.
Is it Jones?
Yeah.
It is Jones.
Yes.
They made the fight and the date. All right.
They made it.
All right.
I
That
feel
one, I will definitely, because there's not very many pay-per-views that I want to take and be like, oh, I got to see this. That one's a pay-per-view.
Well, here's-
Now, will they fight before? Because I remember one time they were getting ready to fight,
On
and
stage?
then they push Dana off the stage.
Oh,
and the small guy that tried to stop John was like, "Don't do it!" Boom! I was like, "What did you think you were gonna do?"
Dana's not a small guy.
He's not.
He's not really small.
He's a stout guy.
But John Jones is a
It's
giant.
just
So,
big.
and so is DC. DC's big.
I mean, you know,
Both
you're,
of those, I'm saying yes, sir, to a whole lot.
you know, you're a big guy when you're the runt in the family with 2 other NFL players.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is an athletic
That's some
family
genes
right there.
that you came from, man.
But my opinion on DC as a whole, I think DC earned the belt.
Yeah.
Because my argument is always this: you can be the champion as long as you don't do the following: lose,
Yep.
get fired.
Get fired.
And part of getting fired means be
Breaking the law.
compliant
Yeah,
within
yeah.
the law.
Yeah.
If
Couldn't
I
agree more.
If I go to a school, let's say this, I go to Harvard, I get straight A's all year, and I'm about to finish up, but then I decide to rob the dean.
That's right.
Guess what I no longer have?
No more diploma from Harvard.
No more. I could have been the best
man.
student with all the potential in the world. I could have had it.
I almost knew a Harvard graduate friend too. Dang.
I'm so sorry. I'll
I
do
had
that
somebody
next
who
time.
had that same thing happen to him literally last week at a local college here. It was the end of the semester. The next day they were walking. Everything was done. Fully completed all of the things that they needed to do, and they were doing the room check, where the RAs take and check it and lock it and make sure everything's clear. And it was a girl, and she was in there, and she decided to blaze one up and got busted.
The night.
Yeah,
Gosh.
got busted with a bowl.
You could have just waited one more night.
That's it.
Or like left the campus.
And the
Yeah.
thing is, then they said, freeze everything. And her argument was like, I'm done. It's like I was out the door. It's like da-da-da-da. It doesn't matter what you think about whether the law is right or wrong. If you go in there and you sign, I agree.
Yep.
That's the end of the discussion. Same thing with John Jones. I agree to all of these.
and to
Dude.
maintain a ability to
You blew it.
continuously fight within a certain amount of times, and you blow it. Not even due to injury, due to personal life choices that
That's
you
right.
built to have.
Multiple life choices.
Now, will there always be that asterisk next to DC's title? Of course, because even with
It
Jose,
is.
even
It's going to be there.
of course, because it's the same thing with Jose Aldo. Like, yes, still lost to Conor. Like, yeah, well, Conor's not coming back, so
Yeah.
there's really nothing he can do about that.
Now, if DC wins, total vindication, asterisk gone. It is like legit.
Legit champ.
If he doesn't, it'll always be there. Right, wrong, or indifferent,
It will be there.
that's the way it's going to be. I'm praying for them, and I pray for John Jones gets his life straightened
Yeah,
out.
I
And
hope
I'm
so
praying
too.
for DC because I'd like a trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like take him out, man. But
Like-
I don't think he can.
I think because he even said it himself. He's like, when he leaned over on him when he was going for takedowns, he's like, he just felt heavy and lanky.
Yeah,
Like, he felt heavy and lanky. Like, it was weird to move his body.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
I think times has changed since then. I think DC's gonna take him out this
Really?
time. I really do.
Oh wow.
Because I think it's been a long time, and I honestly, I think Jones, he just had one fight
Yeah.
in a long time. I think he's still rusty, too rusty for it.
Dude, I'm telling you,
I really
after
do.
that, during that OVP fight, I was like, if DC was in there, because now he was like, no warm-up fights. I want him now, man. I want him now. Because after the second,
I think so many people say, "Oh, ring rust, that's not a thing." No, that's a thing.
that's a thing.
That's
it's a
a
thing.
real
Well,
thing.
it is for some people. Some people, they're just like, whatever. I'm on a bike. I'm good to go. But it is real for some people, and it just depends. It's an individual thing. though.
Okay.
All right, hey.
Now,
Now,
my guy,
the man.
one of my guys, the heavyweight division, Stipe.
Rin and
Miocic.
Stipe Miocic.
I'm a huge fan of this guy. Before he got the title, I was bragging on this guy, and not only is he a good fighter, he's a heck of a good dude.
He's a good dude, and now after his recent performance,
Mm-hmm.
he looks like there might be some longevity
Yeah.
here, and he could be the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love.
Yeah.
And I hated that it was taken out on Junior Dos Santos.
Santos.
Because I love him too. He's
Yeah.
a good guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In fact, same kind of makeup. I mean, he helps the kids
Yep.
and all.
Yeah.
Stipe even said it. Oh, JDS even said it. He was like, if I lost my title to anyone,
It'd be this guy.
It would be this guy, and I'm not okay with losing my title.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with the fact that it's him.
Yeah, I agree.
He's just a legitimately good guy. I heard something interesting though about him.
Uh-oh.
People always ask
Who,
like
about Stipe?
Yeah, about Stipe. They're like, well, what about Stipe Star Power? Like, why don't you see him like calling out people or like doing this and that? Like after the whole title thing, because all he would say is, "I want my title." He wouldn't even call people. Was like, "I just want my title shot." He's like, and now like, why don't you see him like doing more to get more fans in and whatnot? And I think it was Ariel Helwani who flat out said it. He was like, Stipe doesn't care. It's like I don't think if you don't understand who Stipe is, it's not gonna make sense to you. Stipe works part-time in the firehouse.
Yeah.
How about that?
He's a wonderful husband. If you ever see him with his friends, you would never know he's a fighter.
Yep.
He loves his Cleveland teams.
Yep.
All of them.
That's one thing I was gonna say about it too.
I love that.
You see him go to just any game. He's throwing out the first pitch for games.
I think that's great.
He loves them.
Be a local hero.
Even the Browns, he loves.
That's
That's hard to
He's
do.
like, it's okay, you lost. It's all right.
That's hard to do.
He's a big teddy bear who just knows how to fight, and that's it. He's like, I like fighting, but that's it. I'm not this turn of the heel guy.
Right.
I'm not a caller out. I don't do like little stupid pranks unless it's with my friends.
That right.
He's like, I'm just me.
If he has the longevity that it looks like he could have, that could actually come full circle and be something that is so marketable. They're like, this is for real.
Yeah.
As opposed to, because the heavyweight division is famous for one and done.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's defending the title long because they're all monsters.
In fact, didn't he break the record? 2 defenses?
Yeah. And that's,
Right.
When they said that too, I was like, that was the record? And they're like, that was the record.
But the people he beat up to the defense.
Right. So, and the other thing I love about him, his voice is what a heavyweight fighter's voice should be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not like you got Mike Tyson, Junior Dos Santos, you know.
I'm making my boyfriend.
Yeah, right. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm coming over to Cleveland. I'm like, okay, dude. You go wherever you want.
It's awesome, dude.
So Stipe to me is the legit deal, both as a person, because he just focuses on what he has to do. Both times, because I watched him better before each fight. Before he beat Fabricio, he was stuck like in Sweden or something.
Yeah.
He was stuck in Sweden, and they're like, taking your thing. He's like, oh, he's gonna be working out his nerves now. He is chilling on the fence, joking with his friends, being like, yeah, we're stuck here. We might make the fight. We might not.
Why not?
We might not. Who knows? Not even concerned.
Dude.
Before the JDS fight, playing cards.
That I was never that kind of guy who walked around with headphones on, being amped up. I was like, I see those guys, the energy that they expend doing that, and some guys they need to do that. I was like, you left the fight in the locker room.
Yeah.
I was like, play the cards, save every bit of all of that for boom when you're there. What was it? Who's he got coming up next? They just fought, so I know they don't have
That was
anything.
just last weekend.
Yeah,
I know that he's one of those kind of guys where, especially now that he has the
didn't care.
title, he's like,
I'm up.
whoever the next contender is,
Bring him up.
Go ahead, bring him up. I'm going to go be a husband and do my job.
Yep.
That's what I was going to say. Fabricio Verdum, one of my favorite fighters. He's, fantastic. But when he came into that fight with Stipe for the belt, and he was doing that weird mugging thing, it was a joke in Brazil that he had done, with the face and all. And I was just like, what are you doing?
Like, this is one of the most dangerous men you will ever be in, like, anywhere near.
Yeah.
I don't want you to leave it in the locker room, but you do got to bring it with you to the fight.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, I hope he learned a lesson from that, and then
I mean, he did.
that is going to be a potential long-term nemesis for him. And that's what you need. If you want to be a remembered champion, you got to have a Tito versus Chuck type of thing.
I think we
Ken
need to pick
Shamrock.
up better person versus Tito.
It's too soon.
Tito versus Elvis Sinisak.
Sinisak.
Really.
Yeah, somebody he picked up and spiked on their head. Yeah, that's a
I actually have
Shamrock.
that poster
Uh-huh.
from that UFC.
The Twin Towers from
And
the
they got
background. Yeah,
they got the Twin
that
Towers.
was a great one. I always wanted that poster too.
Oh, I got that one, and I was just like, oh, wow, who would have ever thought? Because the poster wasn't all that great.
Yeah.
I was just like, not well put together, I didn't think. But having that on there, it's like, yeah, that's a keeper.
Especially since they couldn't fight in New York.
Dude, right? I know, wasn't it in Jersey that they fought? It was like
I
the
think so.
Meadowlands or something?
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you what, we did it.
One thing I do want to talk about though is this. out of all these champions we talk about,
Yeah.
Demetrius has had 10 title defenses.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, that's insane. He's been the champion since what, 12?
And
2012?
we're just talking about Stipe
Yeah.
holding the record at 2.
Yeah, 2. I mean, I'm looking at all these. Joanna's got 5, and no one else has more than 2.
Wow.
Think about that for a second. No one has more than 2.
That says everything.
Now you would
man.
think. Well, I mean, I guess Connor may have in the 145, since
No.
he never lost in 145.
I
But he's never defended it either.
He never did. I thought he did in 140.
The
I know at
mo-
155.
No,
yeah.
no. Once he got to 145, he knocked out Jose,
Mhm.
and then he had that fight with Nate that wasn't for the title.
Yeah. Oh, because I thought maybe
wasn't
he
a
had,
title
I thought maybe
defense.
he had some, and so he has not had a title defense in either division.
Is that right? It wasn't for the title in
It
there?
wasn't for the title. It was
Because it was at a catchweight, 170.
Yeah, they were
Dos
170.
Anjos got injured.
Mm-hmm.
Nate stepped up on a 2 weeks notice.
Yeah.
Choked him out at 170, and then he was like, "We
I'm
got,"
not surprised.
and then ran it back, and again at 170, now at 155.
Yep.
And then he's like, "If we fight again, we're gonna fight at 155." I was like, "You pansy." That's another thing also. Like, you pansy. If you go and fight him again at the same weight class. You were so
Oh, just talking
dedicated.
trash about.
Yeah, like I can take you at 170, like I can fight in 170, and then everyone's like, clearly you have some issues with with a certain kind of fighter
Yeah.
at 170. There's some you could beat, but there are others that it's
He
just,
got tired quick in that one.
Yeah, that was too much.
That was too much. Too
That's
much.
too much.
Hey, I tell you what, I'm tickled that we actually made it through all there. I was
Yeah.
worried because I'm not as dialed into the UFC as I had been in the
Yep.
past. I was
I
like,
can't tell. You were on point.
dude, I feel pretty good about
I mean, Peasy over here, you need to calm down sometime.
I know.
You just will not shush.
That guy.
it. Yeah, what he said.
You know,
You
he
should have
said-
done more of this.
You're at an 11. I need you to take it down to a 5.
I'll try.
4.5.
4.5.
4.5.
Thank you.
Dang, I was going 3/4 on that, but okay.
It's 11. It's louder than 10.
But why is it low? It's louder.
Because it's louder. It's 11.
All right, guys, that's all we got. Thank you, Troy.
Dude,
thank
thank
you,
you, man.
Josh, and Christian.
Christian, Boo.
Always a
Thank
pleasure.
you for coming
Always a
back.
pleasure.
And for those who don't know, my guy over here knows a lot about comics too.
Oh, yeah, that's why we love him.
So
I do.
well-rounded nerd like us other guys, and we love it.
He also would be one of our go-to guys for Japanimation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
Oh,
all-
well, y'all can discuss that.
trying
Oh,
to
look at
sell
him. He's
these
like,
two.
what?
I tried to sell these two on it.
Yeah.
Why won't you guys get sold on it?
Dude,
That is literally
it's
like
not my thing.
it's so, they throw hands.
Death
They-
Note is now my favorite thing on earth, and I want to be able to do
Are
that.
you into it?
I want to be able to be writing the Death Notes.
There.
I have no
Even
idea.
though
to get
you
him
would
on.
literally be the most evil,
Yes.
vile, most
Right.
cynical person in the world.
Death Note, a notebook falls down from, where is it falling from? It wasn't heaven, that's for
It
sure.
was a god
It was
of death.
the Shinigami world.
Yeah. And you write someone's name in it, within 40 seconds, they will die of a heart attack.
If you didn't specify how
Yeah.
they would die
But you have to know their name.
and their face.
And you know, someone else can have that same name, but they know who you're thinking of, and that's the person that's going to die. Man, I need this power. And the world says, no, you don't.
If there's any justice in this world, that will never happen.
I really thought he was going to say, you will get that power.
You did not think that at all.
'Cause
There's no way you would have
let me
ever
just-
thought
I can
that.
see for giggles, you just writing in his name like.
That's why, man. Because after he'd be like, "You made the list. There's Troy on there."
It's getting kind of hectic.
Oh my.
Because I got the power.
We're all going out. Maybe you, Daryl.
Damn. Ah. And you see him just walking around with like this.
What did you say to me?
I swear to
Don't
God,
make me do
man,
it.
He
Don't make
has
me do
this
it.
like virtual like.
I'm gonna have to go to. I gotta go and get my name legally changed. Then. Keep forever secret.
He'd be the kind of guy who'd be like this. Go get my water.
That's exactly what I
Go
do.
get my water.
That's exactly what I
First
do.
first name.
Yeah.
Like you got 40 seconds.
I can scratch it out, but I'm not.
And on that note, thank you guys for
That's
being
all
here.
we got, guys. You guys have an incredible day.
See ya.
See ya.